Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Villa Pop podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with George for a special Rich Reacts instant reaction show because after a performance like that, I had to get on live and share it all with you guys about how well we're doing. What a performance it was, and how just I'm speechless. 4-0, Aston Villa 4. Bournemouth 0. What a result. I've got George with me. He's just struggling with his sound a minute. I don't know if you can change the speaker, George. But we'll get into it. Michelle's in here, getting there. Wonderful performance. Yeah, it was amazing performance from the boys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Help us on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We're going to get into the performances. We're going to get into the goals. We're going to discuss the goals. I mean, 4 goals to discuss. This is unheard of. This is unheard of with Aston Villa at the moment. 4 goals to discuss, and we're going to talk man of the match. George, can you hear me?
No.
We can hear you. If you want to jump out and jump back in again, mate. But we'll discuss the game. We'll get your comments in, and we'll get on and we'll talk all things Villa with a fantastic performance that we had today. Good evening, Villains. Celebration stream, says Rachel. John, hey, I said last year Marlon will be our top scorer. Hey, he's got a few today. And let's discuss the starting lineup first. I'm going to try and get George's sound working. I think he just needs to sort his settings out on his computer. But yeah, Michael, so good. We did our live watch along as well. So many of you in there joining, which was great. And I'm 100% record, I think, on my watch alongs at the minute. But let's go back to the starting lineup because we saw Emi Martinez in goal, Ezri Konsa, Pau Torres as centre-backs, Matty Cash at right-back, Luca Dean left-back, Onana and Kamara at central defence, John McGinn and Emi Buendia in front of him, in front of those two. Sorry, McGinn operating mainly down the right-hand side, Buendia down the left-hand side with Morgan Rogers behind Ollie Watkins. And I think right from the off, we were pretty straight into them. Can you hear us now, George?
Yes, mate. Yeah, we're back.
Good. So, what did you make of that starting lineup? Because I think it was one that we were, pretty impressed with in our group chat.
Yeah, I liked it, mate. Yeah, it's nice to see Buendia back playing after the little couple of week layoff he's had, and obviously we've been pretty critical of Gessan, so I think we was all quietly relieved that he's he dropped down to the bench. And other than that, it looked pretty solid, mate, didn't it? And the bench looked very stacked as well. So. Yeah, as soon as I see that lineup today, I was quite confident, and I thought we might be able to get the win, and we obviously did.
Yeah, we'll go through, dissect the goals, but just in general play and the general kind of flow of the game, it was just interesting to see Bournemouth were pressing our defenders when we were trying to play it out from the back, but then seemed to give our midfielders a hell of a lot of time on the ball to turn and then pick their passes or decide to run and run at the heart of the defence. It just seemed like a strange setup that Bournemouth had. And then factor that in with the way that our midfield were operating, we seem to be really up for it, and we're winning second balls. We're using our physical power, and we're almost overpowering Bournemouth. So it just seemed like a bit of a strange setup for them, that they would leave us with so much space to operate in the midfield.
Yeah, we definitely won that battle in midfield today. As you say, it was full of energy and endeavour, wasn't it? All very good. Yeah, I think that their tactic was basically to try and make us make a mistake from maybe a goal kick or something. And they went all in on that, didn't they? But, you know, I think once or twice the passes were misplaced from Emi, and Konza messed up a couple of times. But in really, it didn't really it didn't really work for them today, did it? And they've kind of thrown all their eggs into one basket, and it's not come off. Obviously, the
No,
Semenyo attack, I thought Luca Dean was great today against him, completely shut him down. And it was the Villa show today, and we didn't really have too many good chances, Bournemouth, really.
no, like you say, it was more a couple of efforts in the first half after kind of a couple of mistakes from us, but we generally got back and recovered well. The first goal came from a situation that was almost carbon copy. Like Bournemouth had a free kick just on the edge of the Villa box that Tavernier went for power and blasted over the bar. And then literally 30 seconds later, we're up the other end, get the same situation, Cash feeding Buendia with a quick free kick, the Jimenez just barging him over. And then this time Buendia went for precision and technique, and it was a fantastic first goal.
Yeah, he basically showed the Bournemouth lad how it should be done, didn't he? I mean, yeah, that was a great free kick. I mean, the technique is outrageous, really. It's sort of, I don't know. I heard the commentator sort of criticise the goalie a bit later on in the game for it, but to get it up and down like he did there was just a good free kick, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
we don't get many free kicks go in for Villa over the last few years, so that was a real treat. And I thought Buendia in that first half was sensational. I would say he was close to 10 out of 10 there. Faded a bit in the second half before getting subbed, but that first half performance, he's really sort of taken his chance this season.
yeah. I mean, it just looked. It looked like we had the perfect balance between playing out from the back, playing direct long balls into the channels, but also looking for the through ball when it was there. And like Buendia was quick to pounce on and look for a through ball. McGinn was trying it. Rodgers was trying it. And yes, there might not have actually it ended up as a one-on-one opportunity, for Watkins or for Rodgers or whoever was on the end of that pass. But what it did do was it meant that if Bournemouth got a block on it or a last-ditch clearance, they were out of position.
Out of
They were under
shape,
pressure.
yeah.
And then we were able to win it back. And that's exactly how the second goal came about. Buendia tried to play the pass through to, I don't know if it was Watkins or I think it might have been Watkins. They just about managed to clear it. Digne wins the header, links up with Onana, who hooks it back outside to Rodgers, who then nutmegs the fullback, cuts it back, slight deflection, and on the cut back to Onana, and then he does the rest. One touch, bang, bottom corner. But I mean, that was just a kind of, I guess, a reflection on what we'd done throughout the whole game. Just put them under pressure, tried to play quickly, and then capitalize when they were out of position.
Yeah, I guess what do they call it now? Second phase. We did play very well in that today. We're having the chances and we're sort of not giving up the chances, whether they get it away, whether they make them last ditch tackles. We were still just coming back at them. We were always seemed to be sort of first to the punch, didn't we, today? And Bournemouth were they could never really relax at any time in that game because we were on it. And it was Onana scored a similar one like that against Newcastle last season, didn't he?
Yeah.
Very similar finish. I got a bit of deja vu when that went in. But yeah, great goal and yeah, in a good time. That was to make it 2-0, wasn't it? And it's happy days from there on in.
It makes you wonder why he doesn't try those strikes more often, because he scored that one against Newcastle. He scored the one against Young Boys in one of his first games. I know he scored a couple inside of the box. Obviously, West Ham, he got that header from the corner. And I believe West Ham in the FA Cup, he got a goal inside the box. But he's got a good strike on him. And I mean, that's a hell of a finish.
Yeah, it was. It's funny, like I said, without fast forwarding too much, like Barkley scored one very similar to one he scored before for us. It's almost like we practice a certain type of goal. Do you know what I mean?
Like
It's sort of like, you've got that Watkins one that comes right across the keeper when he scores. Marlon the same. It's like we've got a few moves, and every now and again we press the button to make the goal happen. But but Onana's got a shot on him. Of course he has. It seemed like, especially last season, we weren't allowed to see it too much, but we seem to be pulling the trigger a little bit more this season, don't we, from range, as me and you discussed the other week, like with Cash and that. But yeah, mate, we're mixing it up, scoring different types of goals. We were up here complaining the other day that we'd only scored like 9 goals, and then we banged 4 in one game. So this is just how football is. We've got to enjoy those good days.
They were listening to us, George. They were listening to us. That's what we've got to say. We take full credit for it. Mate, you're right. And look, 2-0 at half time. I was on the watch line saying we needed another goal, and we got the other goal before half time. But realistically, we could have been 3 or 4-0 up. Kamara had a chance. Brilliant save from the keeper from Watkins. I think there was an unconventional save from a Rodgers shot that he probably should have made a bit easier. But we were, like I said, when we pressed and we were quick and direct to attack, we were finishing it off with a shot or a cross or something that was putting Bournemouth under pressure, and that was really good to see.
Yeah, fully agree, mate. Not much more to say on that one. Just at it, weren't we? I didn't think Bournemouth were terrible. They'll probably say they were because they've been done 4-0. But I just think we've just outfought them a bit today, and we're first through every ball and just a bit more. We just wanted it a little bit more today, and with the quality we've got, we can do that to most sides. I'm not saying we do, and we don't do it often enough. But today was a good day, and we fully merited the win.
Yeah, Rub says flawless collective performance today. Up the Villa. Dicky says statement win, something we've needed all season. Now we can really kick on for the rest of the year. Seeing the resurgence of Buendia makes my heart sing, says Michael. Love the bloke, and it's so good seeing him shine.
Yeah.
S4M says belter that was. Would have loved to have seen it 6-0. Yeah, and Rachel, Evening Villains celebration stream. Absolutely agree with you. It's absolutely a celebration stream. Please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so you can help us get there. Keep your comments flowing in as well. We're going to try and read as many as we possibly can. If you want to join as well and become a member, hit the join button. If you want to donate to the channel with super chat as well, that would be amazing as well. So we read out all super chats as well. A celebration stream we are on, and we're live. And as it's happened, Erling Haaland has had a penalty saved by Marmadashvili.
Good stop that, wasn't it?
Still 0-0. Great save. Well, we will come on to that because the start of the second half,
what a segue.
Exactly. What a segue. What a segue. We knew that Bournemouth couldn't sort of not that they could perform much worse, but we knew that they would come out in the second half and put us under some pressure because they had to get back into the game. And they did that. And Emi Martinez showed why he's such a top goalkeeper and such a clutch goalkeeper, because the penalty save we'll come on to in a second. Not only that penalty save, but the save from the deflected Kluivert shot where he managed to palm it over the bar. Absolutely unbelievable saves.
Yeah, undoubted, mate. And that was right at a time, like what you said there was right. And we were saying the same on the group chat. In that sort of back end of that first half, it felt like we needed to put them away right now before Bournemouth did come into it. And when was it? Just before half time? The save was it starts the second half?
Start of the second half. The save from the lob that was before the penalty. So they put us under a bit of pressure. Start of the second half.
Yeah.
They had that effort where they basically we had a corner and they just ran. They like Semenyo just ran straight through. There was a bit of a melee in the central area, and then they carried on running. I think it might have been Kluivert that carried on running. And then McGinn fell over, and then the ball broke loose. Scott hit the shot, and it bounced. It flicked off Kamara's knee, and somehow Martinez got there and tipped it over the bar. And then it kind of felt like we'd weathered the storm because they made a triple substitution. Kind of felt like they weathered the storm. Then a sort of I guess just a hopeful corner that went into the box. Obviously, Evan Nielsen had already hit the post, hadn't he, with a header down. Same position, heads it. Rodgers, this time he's on him, manages to sort of gets himself in a bit of a mess in terms of his body position, but he doesn't have any idea where the ball is, but his arm's up and it hits his arm. But like you say, when you've got Emi Martinez in goal, he almost saves the penalty before he saved the penalty.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And his record from penalties over the years has been pretty decent, hasn't it? I was shouting at the TV. I was going, come on, Emi, come on, make the save, and and he's come to our rescue there, because I think if Bournemouth score there, that is a classic Villa, make it hard for ourselves job, isn't it? And we're going to be then biting our nails for the rest of the half, and it could have been a completely different game. But that kind of that sucked the life out of Bournemouth as much as it buoyed us. And, and after that, there was only one winner, wasn't there? It was like that was their chance to get back into the game, and they didn't take it. And that was kind of their day done after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he pointed at the whole 10. He wanted the whole 10 to keep to put him off. And
Yeah,
I
too
think
right.
absolutely, you've got to do everything you can. I imagine, I can only imagine that they won the toss before the coin toss before the game,
Yeah.
and they chose to change ends. So they tried that trick. So he's gonna do whatever you can to get the advantage. Ranger said if the penalty's gone in, a potential different result, but we used it to wrestle back control. 100%. And Kev said, I'd argue a point blank header straight at a Villa player isn't a deliberate handball. I agree with that, but I just think because the referee's given it, they're not going to overturn it as a clear and obvious error. So if he hadn't have given it, I don't think that they would have made him go to VAR. But yeah,
it's probably the position of the hand and the body as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
I think
exactly.
Well, he couldn't.
He didn't have any idea where the ball was, but yeah.
No.
But yeah, brilliant. 2 brilliant saves, and that, like you said, it meant that we wrestled back control. And also, I will point out that there was a couple of corners that went in that period as well, and he just claimed them. And people don't understand how important that is when your goalkeeper just comes out and just claims a corner, because it takes out all of that worry, all of that pressure. It means that the other team's got to reset into position. They haven't it's not. There's no second phase, third phase, anything like that. You're just controlling the game again, and that was massive.
Yeah, definitely. It's worth its weight in gold if you've got a confident keeper that can come out and do that sort of thing, because you can see all the chaos now with the long throws and all that. I've just seen the Brentford goal against Newcastle.
Yeah,
and sometimes the keeper just comes out and grabs that, it's done, isn't it? But you can see what happens when they don't. All hell breaks loose, and next thing it's in your net. So yeah, happy days for Emi today. I did say last week, do we play him in the European game just to settle him down after what happened at Liverpool last week? Clean sheet Thursday night, and then another one today. So I think that was the right decision from Emery there, and that might go a little way to sort of repairing the relationship between like Martinez and the fans at the minute. It was nice to hear his song being belted out again today after that, and hopefully things will settle down from here.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of the next phase of the game, we made 3 key substitutions, and we talked about the importance of the bench, and being able to bring on the likes of Yuri Tillemans, Ross Barkley. Who came on in the first batch of substitutions? Daniel Marler. Jadon Sancho.
Late.
Yeah, Jadon Sancho, Yuri Tillemans, and Ross Barkley came on at 71 minutes. And being able to bring those 3 players on in particular, and just being able to freshen things up in midfield with the likes of Barkley and Tielemans for Onana and McGinn, you're getting different qualities, but you're not affecting the quality of that midfield. And
Exactly.
Tielemans is so good at seeing the pass in any area, whether it's in defensive positions, if it's in attacking positions. And Barkley is so good at decision making, like making the right decision at the right time when you're going forward, and comes up with some key goals. And he did the same again today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's nice at the moment, and without tempting fate, when our midfield are fit, and they're pretty much all fit now, that's some quality there. As you say, you make them subs. Most clubs will make them subs, and the level of the team will drop. But ours doesn't really, does it? We're blessed in that area, and while they're all as fit as I say, you might as well use them, and reduce the minutes for Kamara and for Onana after the injury problems he's had. And the subs didn't look any weaker. Even when Bogard come on later on, he's getting up to the level of them lot as well. Yeah. It's just nice, mate. It just means we can keep that level of control, which Unai thrives on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got the substitutes after that. You had Marlon coming on. You had Bogard, as you mentioned, and I think Kevin's mentioned it there. Ollie Watkins had a good game. Worked really hard, ran the line, ran the channels. Senesi's a very, very good defender for Bournemouth, and he gave him a tough time. And then as soon as Marlon comes on, there's a deflected goal that comes off Marlon's foot off a Kamara shot and goes in the net. And it's just like, how's your luck? But brilliant, brilliant anyway for Daniel Marlon, and brilliant for Villa to get another goal for what the performance deserved.
Yeah, definitely. Marlon's got a bit of a habit of that. I remember, I think it was when I was in Feyenoord. I'm not sure he scored the goal, but the second he came on for Watkins, who had been plodding away as best he could, and Marlon come on, and literally within 30 seconds we scored the goal. And you can imagine Watkins thinking, "Bloody hell, why couldn't that have bounced to me when when I was on?" But yeah, again, it was just it was great work from Tielemans, wasn't it? I don't know whether don't know. Do you reckon Marlon meant that? It's kind of a striker's instinct, wasn't it? Foot out. Would you give him
Yeah,
the
he's in
benefit of the
there.
doubt
He's in
there?
there. I don't know. I think he just clipped the back of his heel, but he'll
Yeah, but
definitely
it's ended
take
up in the
them.
net.
Oh yeah,
Of course, mate.
exactly.
Yeah,
He
he's
should have
he's getting
scored
a few goals
afterwards
now.
though.
Yeah, that was the one, wasn't it? That was a great move, and it was such a shame he couldn't. He done the hard work, didn't he? The finish looked like the easy part, but we can't complain too much. We've got 4 today, so we'll let him off that one, I reckon.
Yeah, precisely. And a man who probably does deserve his paycheck this month is Austin McPhee. He's had a bit of criticism on this channel, I tell you that. But 3 set piece goals. The way that they worked that one that Barkley scored. They tried that earlier on, and the delivery wasn't quite right. But they had like 3 players like right beyond the far post, and then 3 players really close to the ball, and then they just kind of jog back as if they're not bothered about the ball, and then all of a sudden they turn, and it was just right on Barkley's head to flick it in the net. But well worked set pieces. I don't think he can claim to have too much credit to Emi Buendia's, but certainly the final one as well. A short corner routine worked well, and you get the deflected shot and it goes in. But yeah, Austin McPhee, props to you, mate.
Yeah. He deserves it. He'll have a nice little drink tonight and think I've done a good job. So we criticise him when they don't work and when we don't win and when we don't score. So you've got to give him his props tonight. With three goals out of 4 from set pieces, job's a good one. So happy days for all of them.
Yeah, exactly. So takes us into 7th position, I think, as it stands. It's very, very tight in the Premier League at the moment.
It's only 2 off 3rd or something, Rich, I think. I saw the table flash up earlier.
Yeah, two off 2nd at the minute, as it stands. Second, yeah, because Man City are on 20 points. So, yeah, very, very tight in there at the minute. And I think it's, 5 wins from the last 6 league games? It's brilliant form for Aston Villa at the moment.
Yeah, we picked right up. It's just obviously a shame about that start, but we can't keep going on about that. It's been and gone. But yeah, we picked up. And I mean, look at the teams we've played now. What's that? City, Liverpool, Bournemouth, Spurs, in a different order. But then 4 in a row to have picked up 3 wins out of the 4, I think is we couldn't have expected much more than that. And now, is it Leeds now after the internationals?
Yeah, someone in the chat said Leeds and then Wolves next.
Yeah, so you're looking at them, they're winnable, but we know what we can be like. We don't always win them games we should. But you've got to push on now. We're on a good run. Confidence is up. Everyone's fit. Hopefully to get through the internationals unscathed. And I won't say the world's our oyster, but we're putting ourselves sort of into a nice position, aren't we, to fight sort of headed into we'll be heading into Christmas before we know it. So you just got to try and keep up with everyone. As I say, it's a very tight league at the moment, which is good. It's good when a Premier League's like this. It's better than seeing them all run away. It's competitive at the minute. 1 defeat and you'd be down in 10th. 1 win, you could be up, in the top 3 or 4. So, just got to keep plodding on and stay with them.
Exactly. Let's talk about some performances then. So, obviously, it was a great team performance. But anyone who you want to highlight first in terms of particularly good performances today?
Well, I know the Watkins got man of the match, and I thought, to be fair, after the first, he wasn't involved at all for about 20 minutes, 25. He couldn't really get a look in. But I thought he did really put in a good performance after that. It's just a shame, his goal didn't come, but we can't concentrate all on goals. I just thought it was a good centre forwards performance from him today. Just hustled and bustled and
don't say that to Sam. Don't say that to Sam. If you lead the line well, that doesn't count.
No, well, yeah, it's one of them. Though. If you lose 2-0, we'll always have a go at the striker, and that hustling and bustling doesn't matter. But on a day when you win 4-0, he's given them, a good run today, hasn't he? We're talking about all the chaos and the second phases and not letting Bournemouth breathe today, and I think Watkins was a big part of that. And also, I thought an unsung hero today was Luca Dean. I just thought, he's absolutely silenced Semenyo, like the hot player. I think he's like top of the fantasy football and all that. His numbers are right up there, and I thought I don't watch Bournemouth every week, but I'd imagine that's got to be one of his most ineffectual games of the season. And I just thought Luca Dean done the dirty work today really well. He would have been up there for my top players, I think. What did you think, Rich? Who stood out for you?
Well, you mentioned the fullbacks. It wasn't a particular one I was going to highlight as being outstanding. I'll come to that in a second. But do you know what's mad? How we don't talk about Matty Cash anymore.
No, well, it tells you he's getting a level of consistency now, isn't he? And it's lovely to see because he's another one like Watkins. You know, it's one of them two's fault. Whatever happens, isn't it? And you know, he's just started this season very well. Players have these purple patches. Maybe this is a Matty Cash purple patch, but we're all here to see that. And he's he's played well today. You know, 8 out of 10 jobs are good, and he'll be confident going into an international phase now. And hopefully, he can bang another couple of crackers in for Poland.
Yeah. Well, he just 1v1 defending is really good at the moment, and he's matching that up with attacking ability as well. Like he's not just doing that cut inside and passing it backwards. He seems to be making the right runs. He seems to be making the right attacks, and his passing range. Like I don't know whether he's been sort of borrowing sort of his skill set from his golf game, but the way he's been able to pick passes out, you know, the pass that eventually led to the Buendia free kick, you know, quick thinking, little chip ball over the top, you know, balls up the line, drilled passes. Like he just seems to have his range of passing at the moment, which is really, really good to see. And he's not necessarily panicking as well when, you know, if he gets the ball in the right back area, like right deep, he's not panicking in terms of passing it back or passing it across the line or beating his man and running and dribbling up the line. So yeah, the fact that we're not talking about Matty Cash tells you everything you need to know, basically. But in terms of performances, for me, I just thought again, the midfield, the two in midfield, Kamara and Onana, particularly in that first 60 minutes, you know, for two reasons. The first half was winning second balls, driving us forward, just using the physical power that we had. The second half, like the first 15 minutes of that was about holding Bournemouth at bay. You know, we knew that they would come at us because every team, doesn't matter what level of football you're playing at, every team has a little spell of 10 to 15 minutes where they're going to put you under pressure just because of the psychological nature of the game. And they held firm, you know, balls going in the box, so Nana's heading them clear. Clearances that Kamara's Kamara's getting on the end of. So I just think for the last 3 or 4 games, them two have built a really good relationship, and it's a good balance between like the power and sort of running ability of Onana, and then the sort of passing and the I guess just the simple nature of Kamara's game.
Yeah. I mean, this is the partnership we were all kind of wanted, wasn't it? I mean, it's lovely. Kamara and Tielemans are obviously a lovely pair, and they've done wonders for us as well. But when you spend all that money on Onana, it's almost like it's just very solid, isn't it? Onana sort of comes across, and we all want him to be that sort of big destroyer. Oh, City just scored. Haaland just scored.
Haaland, yeah.
But yeah, it's a real nice pair. They've both got strong skill sets, haven't they? Especially like from the tackling, and teams aren't really we're winning that battle in midfield, which we've always wanted to do. And and then you've got luxury there. You've got like Tielemans and Bogard that can do it as well. McGinn's there that can play in any of those positions. It's like sort of making your midfield it's almost like a force field, isn't it? You know, it doesn't matter who we're bringing in. They can do a competitive job for us, and love it, mate. Just want them all to stay fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously, I think Emi Buendia needs a shout out.
That first half, he was outrageous.
You know, just the way that he's able to press quickly. He's got an acceleration that gets into the player that he's pressing really quickly, and then he's got the ability to at the moment to play those quick passes. He can beat players. He can score goals. He's just doing really well at the moment. And look, long may it continue. And John McGinn on the other side, you know, he loves those battles. You know, he loves those physical battles. And he had that true fair on toast. I'm surprised that he didn't get sent off. He was very lucky.
Yeah, he was on a tightrope, wasn't he?
He was very, very lucky. But yeah, you know, it was a lovely game for McGinn because he loves those like where he draws the players in and he just turns them. But yeah, I just thought it was a great all round performance. I can't say anyone was bad. I mean, Konsa had a couple of dodgy moments where Clivert really targeted him with pressing, but in the second half, Konsa was excellent, absolutely brilliant again. So I can't. And the substitutions were great. Barkley came on, did really well. You know, I mean, even Gesson was doing back heels and that, and you know, when he came on, he was winning fouls. I just think it was a really good all round performance, and you know, not every. I know we're getting comments in the chat about people not scoring and stuff, but not everyone can score, you know, and everyone did a job. Everyone contributed to a 4-0 victory for Aston Villa. So there wasn't anyone who had a bad game on today. If they had a bad game, we wouldn't have beaten Bournemouth, because Bournemouth, who've said how long have they been a tough team to play against? How many teams have they turned over this season if you let them? So it was a good performance from every player on that pitch today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Bournemouth are literally no mugs. I think this is the best Bournemouth team now that you know, and they've had a few good teams since they've come up, but I think they'll be up there and they'll give other teams a lot tougher games than what we got today. I just think, you know, we're very good front runners, Villa, aren't we? We go 1-0 up, you fancy us, and we can really, you can see the confidence breed for our team. You know, if Bournemouth have got that first goal today, it could have been very different, but the way we play and our style of play is all dictated towards that first goal, and if we get it, you know, we're a match for anyone on our day.
Yeah, right. Purple Rider saying loving this new signing, Emi Buendia or something like that up the Villa. Yeah, but like, you know, it's brilliant to see that we've got players who are stepping in and doing so well. And this international break, I know people said it might not have come at the right time, want it to carry on, but it's one of them where if there are a couple of players nursing one or two little niggles, you know, Watkins not going with England gets an opportunity to have 2 weeks rest. Buendia came off, he had an ice pack on his ankle, gets the opportunity to have some rest. We know, you know, I know Amadou Onana's going out on international duty, but Kamara's not going on international duty. He gets an opportunity to have a bit of a rest. So there's lots of players there that will benefit from the fact that we aren't playing international football, and they can come back and be ready for the games to come after the international break.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, the games are sort of, you're getting into that stage now where the games are coming really thick and fast, and these continual international. But I think this is the last one now, isn't it, for a while? Yeah, but they don't help anyone, do they? With, you know, with just constant game, Champions League, internationals, and you know, it can get a bit much. So it might be a good time for a few of them to have a little. Like, I know Martinez is not going away with Argentina this time, is he? So a chance for him to have a little bit of a rest and recoup, and it just helps them try and keep fit going later into the season, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So who gets your man of the match? Emi Martinez, would you say, or Emi Buendia, or would you say Luca Dean? You were very complimentary about him.
I mean, as I say, I think he did fade second half, but I think just for that, the level that he was at in that first half, I think I would give it to Buendia today. He's just got a bit of everything now. He's becoming like a proper Emery player, isn't he? Maybe all that time he was out injured, he might have been really studying like the way we play and what Emery wants. Maybe he's looked at Emery's players. Like, I'm reading the book at the minute, and the detail like Emery goes into is just ridiculous. And you know, he's probably looking into like Villarreal players, Seville players, and seeing what seeing what Unai really wants. And at the minute, he's kind of bringing a bit of everything, isn't he? You know, for a little fella, he's always liked to get involved, and you know, he's not scared of the physical challenge. You know, he can sometimes get bullied out of it, but it's not for a want of trying, is it? He's popping up, he's being brave, scoring goals, scoring free kicks. You know, he's still doing the magic, which is what we bought him for in the first place. So it's been quite the redemption story for him, and you know, I really hope he can carry on this season, because I'd say the way he's been, you know, you could be looking forward in 5-6 months to him being our player of the season.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's definitely on that road. I mean, there's probably him, Konsa, Matty Cash at the minute, I would say, that are heading that way. I'd probably just about give it to Emi Martinez. I think those two. I think any time a goalkeeper saves a penalty, yeah, it's massive. And Semenyo, I think, would have gone on to, you know, get his confidence up. It was interesting as well. So yeah, I would have given it to Emi Martinez, but it was interesting as well that they took Kluivert off, because I thought Kluivert was having a real influence on the game when he took him off, and that again, that sort of was a strange decision by Iraola, because that took all the stuffing out of Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, perhaps, mate. I mean, when you're behind like that, I guess everyone
Trying
sees different
anything,
things,
aren't you?
don't they?
Yeah,
Exactly. Just trying to get anything to get a goal, but yeah, I think I was too busy celebrating by then to even really notice the effect of that.
Fair enough. Mate, yeah, great win. Takes us, like I say, into seventh. Real pushing on for a top 4 challenge as it stands at the moment, and I don't think we could have asked for much more after the start to the season we've had. I just think let's just keep it going. We've got a pretty much fully fit squad. Fingers crossed, everyone comes back.
That's the key to everything.
Duty. Exactly, mate, and we can push on in the next 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, it's exciting times in it at the minute. We never know where we are. It's going from crisis to brilliant, isn't it? And back to crisis, back to brilliant. But it's a fun ride at the minute. And when you get days like today, it kind of makes it all worthwhile. So yeah, just carry on this upward curve, mate, and win the next couple of games and see where that gets you.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Well, let's call it a day there. Brilliant win for Villa. Brilliant performance from every player on the pitch today. I'm not going to single out any player for a bad performance. You don't get 4-0 victories against Bournemouth if people are playing badly. So let's just enjoy the win. Let's not single out any players. I thought everyone contributed. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll be back with a Lions Den latest with Charlie to round up all of the academy news. So that will be coming very soon. We're talking tactics with Gareth. Fans forum with the boys, so plenty of shows across the international break to keep you occupied and keep you involved with Aston Villa news. And then before you know it, we'll be talking about the Leeds game and previewing all of that. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel, like, subscribe. George, thank you for joining. Thank you all for your comments. And as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa. Come on.